Hello everyone, in this video I'm ranking to how to lose your world record in 4.9 seconds.
This is Keaton Ellis,
Yeah.
and he just broke the most tragic world record in the Rubik's Cube's 42-year history.
Wow.
Going into this moment ranked just 26th in the world,
Yeah,
no one expected
okay.
Keaton to ever come close to pulling this off.
Yeah.
But when he did, he somehow chose the worst possible moment to do it. You see,
Yeah.
the Rubik's Cube world record is typically broken once every 468 days.
I see.
But on November 21st, 2015, Keaton Ellis was the second person to break the record in just 30 minutes. Word was just beginning to spread that 11th in the world Colin Burns had set a new world record when Keaton beat it by 1/10 of a second. And that's where things start to get strange. Because, weirdly enough, history doesn't seem to remember either of these two world records. If a moment this absurd had actually happened, two world records in a single day, surely the official rankings would remember at least one of them, right? Well, what these two didn't know was that both of their world records were about to be completely removed. Because there was a problem with all of this. When Colin broke the world record mere minutes before Keaton did, he didn't seem to care. Absolute pandemonium had broken out around him, but he was completely unfazed. If we rewind the video, almost immediately upon receiving the cube, Colin knew that something was off. Something that would lead to an 18-month ban for the competitor who allowed it to happen. In official attempts, cubes are supposed to be scrambled with a computer-generated sequence of moves that creates an even playing field for competitions. But Manhasset 2015 was not your average competition. It turned out a competitor had deliberately scrambled Colin's cube so that it was ridiculously easy to solve. So much so that even without finding the most efficient solution for the scramble, he still managed to break the world record by 0.04 of a second. The entire venue saw 5.21 on his timer and immediately broke out into chaos. But Colin knew that mathematically, it was impossible for a scramble this easy to appear in competition. It just couldn't have been real. So upon finding out just minutes later that the scramble was nothing close to what he should have received, the world record was completely removed from the official rankings. Many disagreed with this decision, saying that it was completely unfair. With some choice words for the World Cube Association, they cited the fact that the recent one-handed world record was also found to be a misscramble, but it was allowed to stay. The community would have a point here, but what they failed to realize was just how egregious Colin's misscramble truly was. The cube was basically halfway solved, with many even stating that Colin's 521 was a quite terrible time considering just how easy this scramble was. All of this had clearly been done on purpose. This level of tampering resulted in a complete removal of the world record and an 18-month ban for the competitor who scrambled the cube. But the rest of the world didn't know that. For all anyone knew, the Rubik's Cube world record had just been broken. And 4 hours south of where it happened, at a competition in Clarksville, Maryland, everyone was talking about it. The ultra-rare 1 in 400 days occurrence had finally taken place. So when 26th in the world Keaton Ellis received the scramble of his life just 30 minutes later, no one was prepared for what would happen next.
Oh wow, this is very quick,
Absolute chaos broke out, and understandably so. Keaton had just beaten the mere minutes-old world record by 1/10 of a second. It was the first time cubing had ever seen two world records by two different people in the same day. Considering how often the world record is broken, the statistical likelihood of this exact event happening on any given day was 1 in 438,000. But Colin's world record wasn't real. No matter how much we try to act like it was, it didn't actually count. And as we would learn just over an hour later, neither would Keaton's. You see, he had come within just 1/10 of a second of the most anticipated barrier in the Rubik's Cube's history. At first, this wasn't a problem. After all, a world record is a world record. When you get one, you don't tend to complain. But what Keaton didn't know was that this 1/10 of a second was just a little bit too much time. We had already seen people go to absurd lengths to achieve sub 5 in 2015. World number 1 Felix Zemdegs came just turns away from pulling it off in the World Championship final. And we had even seen a man try to fake a 4-second solve, which got him completely banned from competing. It was the one barrier that everyone wanted to break. And if Keaton had just turned a tiny bit faster, it could have happened that day.
Yeah.
But wait, pause it. You see this guy right here? The man who was almost just killed by a flying elbow to the face? That's
Yeah.
Lucas Etter, and he is about to absolutely ruin Keaton's day. Lucas had spent the last 4 years climbing all the way up to second in the world,
Yeah.
behind only the greatest Rubik's Cube solver of all time.
Yeah.
Ranked number 1 in the US, he was known for
Awesome.
his absurdly fast turning,
Yeah.
sometimes even hitting up to 10 turns per second,
Wow.
which was
10 turns per
absolutely
second.
unheard of at the time. But Lucas had a problem, and his problem was the exact reason he just watched his friend, ranked 20 spots lower than him, break the world record. You see, the single solve Rubik's Cube world record requires an absurd amount of luck to break. Even being top 3 in the world, the stars have to align perfectly
Yeah.
for you to even have a chance. Every single world record after
I see.
Keaton's would undoubtedly require a skip of some kind, something that's incredibly difficult to come by in an official competition. You have to pair perfect luck with a perfect execution. And as round 2 of River Hill Fall came to an end, Keaton Ellis was the Rubik's Cube world record holder. With all of what's just happened in the last 30 minutes, it was safe to say that the community was already in absolute shambles.
Okay.
But what they didn't know was that just 81 minutes later, things were somehow about to reach another level entirely.
Yeah.
Lucas Etter was the final piece to the wildest day in Rubik's Cube history. A moment that was supposed to take 1,200 years to occur was about to become a reality.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
4.90, the world's first sub 5, and the second actual world record in one day. The entire room was in sheer disbelief, and Keaton Ellis was one of the first people to see it happen. In a matter of seconds, Keaton had become the new world record holder for the shortest time to ever hold the world record, a title he will likely never lose. You gotta feel for the man. Soon enough, after learning exactly how his fate had been sealed, the entire world would hear about what had just happened, and they refused to believe it. Done at 8 turns per second with a PLL skip, Lucas had just broken the most anticipated barrier in cubing history. Within days, news media all over the country was talking about it. ESPN, articles, interviews.
Wow.
It was by far the most talked about world record in the cube's history. The most tragic part? Not only was Colin's world record removed hours earlier, but according to the regulations, because both of these historic solves happened on the same day, only one of them would ever count as an official world record. 4.9 seconds away from history. 3 world records in one day. Since then, the shortest time for a world record to be broken is 56 entire days. The community has not come remotely close to replicating the day of November 21st, 2015. You know what else you can't replicate? Subscribing. You can only do it once, and you might as well do it today, or you'll never do it. You'll probably just forget, so you might as well just do it while you can. You know what else you can't replicate as well? The speed. The sheer speed of these 6-year-old children who are still somehow in the big 2.5, almost the big 2.6, faster than you. You thought I was done, didn't you? But there's actually a third thing you can't replicate.
What?
You know what that is?
What?
This absolutely dripped out merch, which you can get, of course, at speedcubeshop.com. I just used the word dripped out in 2025, and now I will end the video because that's the only way to go from here, really. So, yeah, anyway, besides that, that's about it. See ya.
So yeah, if you guys enjoyed my reaction to this video, then subscribe and turn on post notifications. Everyone has a great day. Bye.